Good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Lauren Lemanchek. Right now, polls are open for two special election primaries to fill open seats in the Minnesota Senate. Michelle Beck's at a polling place with what it could mean for the balance of power in the State House.
Yeah, hey there. I'm in Woodbury as this polling place and others here in Senate District 47 will be the ones to decide who will be their DFL nominee. Right now, DFL State Representatives Ethan Cha and Amanda Hemmingson Yeager are vying to face the only GOP candidate, Dwight Dora. They're vying for the spot left by Nicole Mitchell. She resigned after being convicted of felony burglary. This morning, Senate District 29 also gets a special primary. This one comes after Senator Bruce Anderson suddenly died. 3 Republicans want the nomination. The winner here will face the only DFLer in the mix. Now back here in Senate District 47, this primary is important because if the DFL loses this seat, the power of the Senate could return to GOP hands. Right now, the Senate is split between 33 Democrats, DFLers, and 32 Republicans. The polling place opens at 7 and is open till 8 p.m. Back to you.
Developing now, Minneapolis police are looking for the driver of an SUV that hit 2 people early Sunday on Lake Street and then took off. MPD says a person on a bike and a pedestrian were hit just before midnight Sunday night. Investigators say they have recovered the vehicle involved but are still looking for the driver. Anyone with information is asked to reach out to police. Right now, 1,400 U of M union workers are taking a pivotal step forward to decide if they're staying on the job or going on strike. They start voting on what's being called a final offer as thousands of new students move onto campus. Audrey Russo has a look at the impact.
The unionized U of M employees are casting their first votes for a contract in the St. Paul Student Center behind me. And if they follow their union leadership advice, they'll likely vote no on a contract with the university. And what that means is that there could be a strike here on campus within the first couple of weeks of classes. The Teamsters Local 320 union represents food service workers, grounds crews, and maintenance staff. The U's latest contract proposal includes a 3% raise the first year and a 2% raise the next. But the union contends a proposed 10% hike in healthcare costs would negate any wage gains. Now, as move-in week continues, parents we spoke to say they're not concerned with what a strike could mean for students.
It doesn't concern me too much. I mean, I hope they can all work it out so that everybody's in a good spot.
I mean, there's enough places around campus that she'll get fed, so it's okay.
Now, the voting process is expected to last about a week and a half. I reached out to the university and they tell me that there is a contingency plan in place to minimize the impacts of any potential strikes. Back to you.
Students moving in today may also be impacted by a rally on the Kauffman Memorial Union lawn. A separate union representing 2,000 clerical, technical, and healthcare workers across the 5 U of M campuses will be out demanding a new contract. They say they've been in negotiations for nearly 5 months. In a matter of hours, the Mankato Fire Department says it plans to release more details about a house fire that killed 2 children. It happened around 2 yesterday morning. Officials said the fire was shooting out of the back of the building after starting on the top floor. City officials tell us a father and 1 child made it out safely. A mother was flown to the hospital. People in the downstairs apartment also got out safely.
This is difficult for all of us, but our thoughts are with the families. This is tragic. We've got a good support network here in Mankato, so that way I think on the front end we've been positioned about as well as we can for something like this.
Officials say the fire was likely accidental. It's not clear right now if there were smoke detectors inside or if they were working. Well, for the first time since he was shot 2 months ago, we're hearing from State Senator John Hoffman. He was a guest speaker at the Democratic National Committee's summer meeting, which Minnesota is hosting this year. In a 10-minute speech, Hoffman mourned the loss of his friends, Melissa and Mark Hortman, and denounced political violence and radicalization. While Hoffman has made a few virtual appearances since the targeted shootings, this marked his first in-person speech. Hoffman said what happened on June 14th was pure evil.
It was a political attack on public servants and public service, and it was aimed squarely and slowly at our party.
The DNC's meeting lasts through tomorrow. The Republican National Committee held its summer meeting last week in Atlanta. A check of the markets this morning after an unprecedented move by President Trump. In the last 12 hours, he announced the firing of Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. This is the first time that's ever happened in the Fed's 111-year history. The administration is claiming Cook committed mortgage fraud. So far, she has not been charged with any crime, and her removal could lead to a court battle. The only reason Federal Reserve governors can be removed is for cause or some kind of wrongdoing. This is all happening as Trump is pressuring board members to cut interest rates beyond what they think is good for the economy. If Cook's seat becomes vacant, Trump can nominate her replacement, meaning the Fed would have less control over inflation. Meantime, a look from the White House where the president is ramping up his crackdown on crime, signing a series of executive orders, including making flag burning a crime and trying to end cashless bail. And after deploying and arming National Guard troops in the nation's capital, the president is threatening to do the same in other cities. And the leaders of those cities are not happy. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. President Trump is looking to grow federal influence over law enforcement in big cities across the country and pushing back against Democrats accusing him of a power grab. This morning, new signs President Trump's expanding crackdown on crime could mean a growing National Guard presence in more big cities, already armed on the streets of Washington, D.C., with Chicago potentially next in line.
We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. Chicago desperately needs help.
The president signing an executive order tasking his defense secretary with creating specialized National Guard units to be trained and ready to help with domestic law enforcement. Chicago's mayor pointing to a 30% drop in murders, robberies, and shootings from last year, though the city is still averaging more than one killing a day, with 3 homicides and 27 people shot just this weekend.
Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
The Illinois governor calling the potential takeover
a dangerous power grab,
and referring to President Trump as a wannabe dictator, the president pushing back.
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense.
All as President Trump signed 2 more crime-related executive orders, one threatening to revoke federal funding from states that offer cashless bail, arguing that lets offenders commit more crimes. The second aimed at turning the burning of American flags from a First Amendment-protected act into a crime for inciting a riot. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The city of Minnetonka is officially one of the first cities in the state to launch a drone as part of its first responder program. This morning, 6 drones now sit on top of 4 city fire stations, able to be launched to investigate areas in seconds before the human first responders arrive. Police say that dramatically cuts down their response time and increases safety for their officers, who now have more information than they may otherwise have had.
The camera on the drone is positioned at the horizon and is not being manipulated until it is in range of the police call. The live video goes directly to our officers, our supervisors, and our command staff, providing situational awareness before responders arrive.
The drone company Minnetonka got their drones from says 6 other agencies across the state have reached out since early July. City officials say these drones are also beneficial for fire and EMS calls. Also in Minnetonka, city council leaders are moving forward with their off-leash dog plan for Purgatory Park. The discussion lasted for more than 2 hours last night, with city residents weighing in. The plan would allow dogs to be off-leash on the 17 acres of land. Now, it had been that way for years until the city passed new rules in November, requiring animals be leashed everywhere. The council says they still need time to consider enforcement, barriers, and accessibility.
I don't think we're kicking the can down the road. I think we're saying, you know what, we don't have enough information, and frankly, without identifying more areas in our community where we can have off-leash dogs, we are taking too much away for one group of people, and that's a problem.
They say they'll take until June of next year to observe their initial phase and make any necessary changes. Stick with us. More news and weather's coming up after the break.